Hey everyone, it's Michael from Replica Airguns. Today we're doing a tabletop review. I have done the field test shooting review for this product, so check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Or you can go over to replicairguns.com and check out a link to the blog where I have all that information for you there as well. And this product is available in both our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores over at replicairguns.ca for Canada and replicairguns.us for the US. And again, I'll put links to purchase these in Canada and the US in the description. Now I have shot this T4E HDB .68 caliber paintball shotgun, so make sure again to watch that field test shooting review to see how it performs. All right, let's get right into the specifications. This is a .68 caliber paintball semi-auto shotgun. It also shoots .68 caliber rubber balls or whatever .68 caliber ammunition that is suitable for paintball guns. It uses a single standard 12-gram CO2 cartridge. It has a metal and polymer design, but it is mostly plastic externals. It has a 16-round internal spring-fed magazine. It weighs 5.52 pounds or 2.5 kilograms. It has a total length of 25.5 inches, which is 64.8 centimeters. It has an 18.5 inch or 47 centimeter smoothbore barrel, and it has a double action trigger. This does have a claimed maximum FPS of 220, although I did get a little bit slower than that in the C-can here, but it wasn't super warm, so potentially on a warm day, 220 is possible. Keep in mind I was using rubber sort of foam type balls for that field test shooting video. And similar to many of the other T4E products, it does have that quick CO2 pierce system with pressure indicator. You're going to find integrated front and back sights, post in the front, and a peep notch in the rear. It's kind of like a dual peep notch. I'll show you that in a bit. You'll also find Picatinny and M-LOK rails top and sides that allow for multiple accessory attachments. It also utilizes a crossbolt safety, and it is distributed by Umarex, manufactured by T4E, which is short for Training for Engagement, and it is made in Taiwan. That's not really a replica of anything in particular, but it does look like a tactical pistol grip shotgun. So let's take a quick look at what you get. You obviously get the gun that you see here on the table. Comes in this box, T4E, not that exciting, but you kind of get the point. Has some information there, right? Semi-auto shotgun, velocity, ammo, paintball power, quick CO2 system. Right there you can see 0.68, 16 rounds CO2. So that's about it. The back's kind of just plain. You do get this cleaning rope for dragging a cloth through the barrel in case you have some debris in there. You get an Allen key that helps you put the CO2 in and out. And of course you get the manual. Here you go. We're just going to quickly kind of take a look at this. So velocity there, 220 rubber powder paintballs, single shot, 16 rounds CO2. We're not going to get too into this, but it's got some parts laid out here telling you what the parts are. Talks about the safe and fire on the crossbolt safety, how to put the CO2 in, right? How to load the magazine using that spring. Okay, of course, how to pull the trigger, how to give it the bop so that it actually, so once you've loaded the CO2 and you have to give that a little knock, and then right at the back here, a little pin kind of comes out to let you know that it's ready to go. All right, that's kind of it for that. Now let's do a walk around of this product. Again, it is mostly plastic, but it has decent weight. It's very high quality. It's got a metal trigger. You got this metal sling mount, which is ambidextrous. That's on both sides. That's the pin that comes out that indicates that it's live. So the CO2 has been bopped or punctured by giving that a knock right there. You give it a good slam with your palm. Okay, you can see the one side of the crossbolt safety coming out there. You have this port. It's basically if something gets stuck in there. During my preview video, I thought this was the loading port. It is not. And you can see here I've got a couple rubber balls in here, so I'm going to have to be careful. But I can kind of show you a little bit. So that's the magazine. Let's just get those out for now. I can't get one out because it's actually in the barrel. I'd have to use some sort of rod to get that out. So we'll be extra special careful since this is kind of live, ready to shoot. Pretty neat though. All right. And then, okay, so imagine that when you pull the trigger, you see how this kind of goes forward. Be careful. This goes forward to seal it all off, and it also activates the hammer. But you can see how that seals it off. And then when you pull it back, it allows another round to be loaded right in there, up top there. Here's your magazine. Oh, that was a mistake. So your magazine just kind of scoots forward, drop your balls in there, and then there you go. You're ready to blast away. Okay, so pretty cool. You got M-LOK mark or spots there, grooves, cutouts, whatever you want to call them, on top. on the side. You'll also notice that you do have a rail, Picatinny rail here. You could take that off or remove it, or put another one over here, or put it on that side. You have a Picatinny rail on top. You have, so this is the sight I kind of wanted to show you. You can see it's kind of both a notch. It's a notch and a peep at the same time. Then you have a post on the front. They are non-adjustable. You do have this metal. So both of these tubes are metal. The flash hider is metal. Again, the rail's metal, the trigger's metal, a lot of internal metal parts. So it does have decent weight to it because of those metal parts. And the sights even look to be metal as well. So there's lots of metal on this gun, even though it has a plastic shell. Very durable. Plastic is very durable. You can drop this. You're not going to really see many scratches and things. Plastic these days on these products is quite good, okay? I'm not sure if I showed this side much, but we'll show it. Got some branding here, HDB 68. Again, this is a lower cost, paintball / .68 caliber T4E rifle. Normally they're getting up into the 400 plus range. If you take a look at the other shotgun, I think the HDX that I showed you guys, that's a much more expensive pump action shotgun. This is actually semi-auto, and it's a lot less expensive. Still a good gun. We'll show that side off here. Just a little bit less expensive than some other products in that sort of category. All right, let's go over pros and cons and finish up this review. Now, the accuracy was pretty good when I shot it. Probably my tightest grouping so far to date with the paintball gun, shooting at 30 feet away. Again, watch that field test shooting video to check it out. It did shoot low, but it did group fairly tight for paintball, especially using rubber balls. It does have lots of mounting options for accessories like a tack light, laser, or other sighting options with its top and side Picatinny rail M-LOK setup. It does utilize the quick CO2 pierce system, so you can leave a CO2 in it ready to go anytime with no worries about CO2 leaking out. And it does use a standard, simple to use crossbolt safety. Everyone knows how to work those and where they generally are. It does have a nice high capacity 16 round magazine. It's super easy to load once you figure out how to pull that spring up. You just got to lift the little tab there and pull it up. And then it also has ambidextrous sling mounting points. Now, it is fairly low cost for what you get compared again to other Umarex T4E products, especially in rifles and shotgun versions. And the build quality feels really good considering it is a much lower price point than the other guns again. And it looks very intimidating at the end of the day. If you were to pull this out, just the fear factor, intimidation factor may scare an intruder away. Again, I don't recommend anything like that. That's completely up to you what you do with this gun. Whether you want to use it for some sort of non-lethal home defense product, like if you live here in Canada, we can't use real guns. This is about as good as it gets. Okay, a couple cons. It has a mostly plastic build, but again, it's pretty durable. The sights are non-adjustable, as I said earlier, and you're not going to get a lot of shots per single CO2. If you want more shots, you're going to get less FPS. So I think they try to use a nice balance of FPS versus shots. I'm not sure exactly how many shots you'll get, but I would imagine probably 2 magazines, and then it's going to really trail off. Now, the fact that this is a pistol grip shotgun, there is no rear stock. Obviously, that's going to affect accuracy since you can't rest it on your shoulder. But in a sort of rush, in a non-lethal home defense situation, you probably aren't going to have a lot of time to aim. Again, this product is available in both our Canada and US online replica airgun stores, so I'll put links in the description. And again, I'll put a link to the written article over at replicairguns.com where I have a lot of additional information, specifications if you like to read through that stuff instead of hear it, with additional photos for you to check out. All right, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And again, check out the Canada and US stores over at replicairguns.ca for Canada and replicairguns.us for the US, where we have airguns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.